Emilio, it's your turn.
What? Welcome to the Clodcast. It's been so long. Ben just put me on the spot. It's so great. Oh my guys, how have you been? It's been way too long since our last season. Back when we were the PBL, we are now the CPL, the Clodsire Premier League, and it's our first season. We got 3 divs now, baby. It's lit. So
Oh,
you
fuck.
already heard Ben.
Hang on, I was
That's okay. Yeah,
2
Roy.
seconds.
Interrupt my intro. Yeah, interrupt my intro, Ben. Not Ben. Roy. Anyways, as you hear, we have the
Sorry,
typical squad
your
with
turn
us.
was very good. Sorry.
For the love of God, Roy.
Does Roy always do this?
No.
Yes and no. Anyways, as you guys heard, we have regular homies with us. We got kinda. We have Roy, who just went on mute because he wouldn't stop interrupting me. We got our boy Ben.
Hello.
Just like King Ben. Got me, boy. And we got a guest today, new mod member of CPL, the squad. We got Zeb with us.
Hi.
Whoop whoop. Callum and Aaron couldn't make it, so no format
No,
cast
it's
today.
not whoop whoop, it's Clod.
True.
Oh, it's not whoop whoop. Yeah, it's Clod. Save that for when that video comes out.
Unironically, this is the best interview you've ever done, Emilio.
Thank you. You put me on the spot, but it's better, bro. Because I was PVL Emilio or CPL Emilio. I'm more professional now. Say, I might as well just start doing all the intros at this point.
Talking about CPL, I'm also now officially the fucking co-owner.
Ben is officially the co-owner. Very proud of him. Let's hope he doesn't, get mad one day
And abuse my power.
and use his power. Yeah.
I would not, probably. But we're here for the Clodsire PRs in specific. PRs will be 3 separate videos. Today we're only doing the Clodsire PRs. So,
we'll have a separate video for Quag and
exactly. For Quag and Whooper, there will be separate videos. I will probably release them all in the same day, but we record them on different days just because we don't want to sit there for 6 hours and just record PR videos.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking nightmare fuel. When Ben said we're doing them separate days, I wiped sweat from my forehead.
Okay.
I was like, praise the Lord.
Well, let's start the Clodsire PRs with the first person.
Sorry,
on the list.
Emilio. I do apologize.
Roy's finally back.
You know what? I forgive you, Roy.
And at number 16, we have the
multitasking,
number 1
I
Luster
think, as
fanboy.
well.
The number 1 Lester fanboy. I will build a fence. Yes, sir. That's my boy right there. Shout out,
Aren't you
Mr.
Mexican?
Scraggs.
One notable thing is quite a few of these things.
Don't
A
worry
few of
about
these
what I
things
am.
have changed since we did the slides. So some of these will be the old teams.
Some of these, yes.
Because everyone in Clodsire decided to say, yeah, fuck them guys.
But number 16, the number 1 Luster fanboy, the guy that took a row of time and had to patch up his boo-boos, Mr. Scraggs.
Mr. Hydreigon enthusiast.
Yeah.
Ben, why don't you start us off? You did make these slides.
I did make these slides, yeah. So, these rankings, me and Roy did the most of the rankings for Quagsire and Clodsire. So, Roy sent me how he ranked them, and I just added or took away some points where I thought, okay, that might be a little different. But at number 16, we have Mr. Scraggs with 4 different categories. For the people who don't know how we do PRs, we divide up in essential roles, breaking power, supporting roles, and problem-solving ability. And
hold on.
What's up, Emilio?
No. Because instead of 6.5 or 25.5, like how it should be a point, it's a fucking comma.
Yeah. That's just because that's the German way to do. I'm very sorry. Anyway, so essential roles is pretty much what essential roles a draft should have. Like, do they have a ground type, a grounded poison type? Do they have the necessary typings? Do they have a good steel type? Etc, etc. Then breaking power is pretty self-explanatory. Then we have supporting roles, like, do they have enough clerics? Can they support it well enough with hazards? And what type of status effects can this team put out? And last of all, is problem-solving ability. How many different sets can the team run technically, and how can he solve problems in prep and in the game?
Need to rename that category. I forgot what problem
We
solving.
probably do. I get what it means.
I get what it means, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, this team. So sorry, I got distracted by a thing that I'll tell the other mods about later. Basically, this team did slightly change since we had these. I based my one on basically the first change, which was Electro Hisui was dropped for Glisopod, which is now Terra, and they also dropped their other Terra, Kangaskhan, for Terra Delphox, and dropped Haunter.
So let's start off with first of all the essentials. Like, okay, they obviously have a great steel type in Celesteela, although a lot of people hate Celesteela.
That's for like hater reasons though.
So this is the go.
Not because it's bad.
It's a go.
They do have a grounded poison type, a bulky water, which is also their ground type.
Ground type.
They
had a normal type. Or they had a normal type. Wait, Roy, does that mean they don't have a normal type anymore because they got rid of Kangaskhan?
Yep. They don't have a
normal. You don't need a normal. Hydreigon is a pretty good ghost check.
Yeah, Hydreigon is a very good ghost check.
It's not
fine.
But
still better to have a normal type just to be immune to that, but
I would also rather have a backup dark type or normal type to Hydreigon, so you're not forced to bring it defensive in those matchups, because Hydreigon's better when you can be flexible with it.
Mm-hmm. Talking about one thing as well, they dropped Haunter, which was I think their only ghost type. So fighting spam might be a little annoying for them.
I mean, fighting spam wouldn't be bad even with Haunter. Like, it's a Haunter.
I guess obviously flying coverage like random acrobatics or aerials will be a problem, but Buzzwole can handle a lot of fighting types or force weird coverage. And Haunter doesn't answer fighting types either way.
No, 100%.
Haunter doesn't answer anything.
Arguably, Delphox is probably better at fighting type answer with Terra Fairy than Haunter is. So that's probably not a negative.
Yeah.
One big thing to mention about this team, they do have Tapu Koko, which is one of the most sought-after Pokemon in draft, but they do not have a single Pokemon to abuse the terrain.
You know what? Kind of based.
It's kind of based, yeah.
Obviously, I know in Gen 9 it's very common to pair Koko with some of the Paradoxmons, and I think most of them are good combos. Like, if you can get it, it is good, but at the same time, Koko is good enough on its own that you don't need it.
Exactly. Yeah. It would, of course, be a plus point if they had Paradoxmons, and the Electrodesoy could have been great, but they did swap it out.
I don't think it takes way too much, though. No? Yeah. Because, like what Zeb said, Koko's just it.
Let Roy say the spoiler.
Because also, spoiler for another team on another one we've done that I've seen the slides for. That team had a lot of Iamons, and I did not rate it highly at all because it was too much focus on the Tapu Koko thing. I think one Paradoxmon or even like a Raichu, a Lola, like basically Terra as an option as well is good, but I think going too much into it is bad as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also, maybe you can go first.
Zeb, you go first.
Okay. I also just want to know. I haven't actually checked the teams beforehand. These for being the bottom team is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I think the teams overall is just mostly just good teams.
Yeah, the quality of Clodsire drafts is pretty high. We didn't rate this as high, but this team still works pretty well and has its advantages. One thing I wanted to mention, this team's defense relies a lot upon Celesteela because, of course, Buzzwole can take physical hits. You can run stuff like AV Hydreigon, but Seismitoad and Garbodor are your only bulky ones after that because the Kangaskhan got dropped, for example.
I will say this bluntly and honestly, I would never ever run bulky Hydreigon because I can just run Roost and just be better defensively.
say you never run. You'll never run bulky Hydreigon.
No, AV Hydreigon. I've
Oh,
run bulky
AV.
Hydreigon a lot. I love
I'm
bulky
about to say.
Hydreigon. I've used it regularly. It's really good bulky. Like in certain matchups, it's fantastic as a bulky mon.
Yeah. Onto the breaking power. This team breaks mostly through Coco, Hydreigon, Aerodactyl, and Buzzwole, which are good breakers, but you have to consider the fact that Aerodactyl can sometimes be not as easy to use because just of how frail it is. Same with Buzzwole.
And also, yeah,
Buzzwole gets
and
destroyed
also
by
this
special
team,
moves.
yeah, also this team has, it's not awful removal, but it's still not great with, like, Coco and Hydreigon can both remove rocks, but neither likes to run it.
Exactly.
So, like, keeping rocks off might actually be a problem with the arrow here.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and in general, I think the hazard game, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great either. Like,
a little
you're
weak.
it's basically just, yeah, it's basically Seismic Delivery, and it's a good rocker, but it's would have
Doesn't
been
even
nice
get
to have
spikes.
like another variable. I forgot
Yeah,
Garber.
the problem is like the best. But Garber's alright rock wise. Going with breaking power. Kangaskhan and Electrode are out. I will say the breaking power has improved with their changes because I think Delphox with Nasty Plot can be a good breaker, and Galissapod with Terror Bug First Impression can do some stuff. It's not the best, but it is probably overall an improvement breaking power wise. I'd say it weakens the supporting roles though.
It hurts, man.
Yeah, the supporting roles are considered for this team, which he had when we did rank him. Kangaskhan was a big part of this because Kangaskhan is a Wish Passer and a Cleric for him. And otherwise, he does have a lot less without the Kangaskhan.
There's a like Coco. There's like
Yeah, there's Coco.
Hold up.
Yeah.
The
team was rated a lot higher with Kangaskhan in it, in the supporting roles, because Kangaskhan is a great low tier support Pokemon. Now, of course, the supporting roles would be a little different. Delphox is still a Wish Passer technically, but it's not as good of a Wish Passer as Kangaskhan is, in my opinion.
It's definitely more of an offensive mon.
Yeah, like the only time you run defensive is like in extremely specific scenario. Was it like if you want to try to check something like a Lele?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem-solving ability of this team is a little sketchy as well. Coco, of course, can run a lot of different sets. Same with Celesteela.
So can Hydreigon.
To be fair.
Hydreigon can technically run physically or bulky very good, but after that, it really drops off in the versatility of the mounts.
Yeah. Buzzwole is AV or basically a choice band or choice scarf. Seismitoad, unless you're running a rain mode randomly, you're not really going to do much different. It improves with Delphox, I think, like versatility wise. Delphox can do quite a few numerous things. Galissapod is really basic, and Garbo is really basic.
Yeah. So this team is balanced in certain ways, but it does have some lacking things, especially the hazard removal part where either Hydreigon or Coco has to run it. And when you have Pokemon like Buzzwole and Delphox who don't appreciate hazards as much,
I know.
Especially the arrow as well, which is your Mega, and you spend 15 points on it, and if it gets dug in by Stealth Rocks a lot. One thing I also haven't mentioned yet, except
you don't need running 249.
Yeah. Except for the Steela, the bulky mons on this team will be destroyed by spikes.
Seeing like a lack of like slow pivots on this too.
Yeah, like you have the fast pivot of Coco, and
actually there are no slow pivots.
Yeah, there's not a. You have the Coco fast pivot. Kangaskhan
can't get back. Oh wait, no, drop. It's not there anymore. Yeah.
Kangaskhan's not slow either, by the way, Amino. It's pretty fast.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
like 90?
It's 90 speed, and Mega Kangaskhan is 100.
Oh fuck no. Oh, never mind then. Yeah.
It's like it's got Miltank syndrome where you think it's slow, but it's actually like quite fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this team has no like slow pivots to like tank a hit and bring like a demon in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this team excels when
they doesn't look bad.
Yeah, this team excels when they can get in High Dragon / Basketball / Coco often, and they can run stuff like a sweeping Steeler set. But there is limits to this, so this is why the team is 16th.
But I will say I've seen far worse drafts like be ranked like mid in PRs before, so I don't think this is even a bad team. It's just a weak.
Bro,
yeah,
this would be a top. Bro, this is a top 3 team in.
Jesus.
I haven't looked at Wooper fully yet. I don't know if I go that far, but it might end up being. I haven't looked at Wooper fully. I only just started doing the rankings, and the rankings were a lot lower in Wooper, and then you said, "Oh, I've already done it," so I was like, "Okay, I won't bother."
Okay, let's move on to number 15 though, which is Luster himself.
This is the most Luster team ever.
I'll take a triple grimace shake it on a Gyat 4x4 Sigma style. Extra Quandale Dingles with a Skibbity, a light squeeze of Ohio grease. Make it Riz and let it.
So, at least Vaporeon and Misdreavus are very pretty. What do you mean by that, Luster?
What do you mean by that?
What does that even mean? What are those words?
What do you mean by that?
Let's start off with the team. The team in general, it's a very offensive team. That's why the essential roles do lack a little bit. They have some defensive capabilities with Crobat, Doublade, and Rotom Wash. The Oxus Speed can technically run a little bulkier set, same with Altaria, but they don't want to most of the time.
It's funny you say that because in his
I will
week
say
1
this
game, he did exactly that.
Yeah.
He fucking did that exactly.
Deoxys Speed has been bulky Deoxys Speed. He actually loves that set. So I think if anything, he will be running that all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, ordinary by surprise.
You're not wrong, though.
The essential rules, first of all, the hazards on this team, they are provided by Lycanroc and by Deoxys. That's it.
Kind of sussy.
Yeah,
Sussy.
you don't want to force Steel Speed into rocks. You lose a lot of the value of picking it if it has to go like hazard spam every time. Like
Yeah.
it is a good hazard spammer, but you want to be able to like use offensive sets like plot or just like mixed stacker.
Exactly.
And when it's your only hazard setter, basically that is kind of rough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, then the removal, they have Rotom Wash, they have Crobat, Altaria technically as well. Rotom Wash and Crobat can remove Ball.
I think the removal is good. It has set and is quite bad.
Yeah. Then for the break, like the more of the essentials, the ground type is Ursaluna. They have a bulky water and Rotom. No grounded poison, sadly, so nothing that absorbs toxic spikes on coming in.
Yeah. They do luckily have Heal Bell, though, at least, which helps a little bit with that.
And considering
it's not, yeah.
Considering their
the team is not that weak to C-spikes.
Yeah. Considering their steel type, they have Doublade as their main steel type, which of course can be pretty good, but once it uses its Eviolite, it loses a lot of the defensive value it has.
And it's also really frail on the special side. Like, taking like special fair hits might be a problem here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Crobat is decent, but Crobat is not bulky at all.
Yeah.
I think your best, your best bet for it might end up being Rotom Wash, which is a bit of an air one.
Yeah.
Just like just any like Specs Fairy Moonblast is going to be rough for this team.
Exactly.
Switch into.
The breaking on the power on this team is pretty good though, because Chi-Yu and Ursaluna are there. They are the main threats on this team, and then there's still Mega Altaria and Lycanroc Dusk, and even Nasty Plot Deoxys Speed, which can come, but as we see, Lester likes his bulky Deoxys.
He does. He can break. I mean, like, it's like, what's walling the top two, you know?
Not a lot.
If he drafted those two, like, would have been fine. But he's got, like, other stuff on top of it. It's pretty scary.
Like, Altaria can be a threat if it starts basically, like, setting up. It needs to set... A lot of his others, like, Mons would need to set up for them to start breaking through stuff.
Yeah. Like Lycanroc Dusk with Tough Claws is still very good, even without Terra. Altaria needs a little setup, but if it has the setup, it will run through some teams. The main threats, but are still obviously Chiyu and Ursaluna, which Chiyu will come in and blow something up. Same with Ursaluna.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems I see is that you can struggle to bring in Chiyu and Ursaluna. Like, obviously you have Ronan Wash, which is one of the best pivots in the game. Like, it's kind of the only one. I guess Crobat can click U-turn, but it can also struggle to fit it.
Exactly.
Does
So
Altaria?
it's like,
Altaria gets U-turn, doesn't it?
No, it does not.
It doesn't.
It might get Baton
Okay, yeah,
Pass, but that's would be the only thing it gets.
Yeah,
and
because I know
then
Deoxys
you-
gets teleport.
yeah.
That's slow pivoting. Though Deoxys
Deoxys,
is a bit iffy, but it does actually get teleport.
does.
It's iffy. I even know that though.
I guess it's by technicality, yes, but I feel like
Oh, no,
that's
it's
like
iffy.
anti-synergy for Speed or teleport.
Oh, I know.
And-
I just know what orders. I know what Lust is like, and I feel like there'll be like a couple of matches where they'll do something funky like that, and it will work.
I
But it'll be
guess.
very.
And y'all haven't used the Jetpack Headlong Rush or Saluna, and it shows, man. Estimates.
The supporting roles on this
That's
team
what I
are
thought
pretty
about
good though, because Rotom Wash is there. Altaria can be a supportive mon. Even like the Glaceon can be a support technically, but Crobat is a big point of this because Crobat is a mon. It won't deal a lot of damage. It's not all too bulky, but it will come in, take a hit, and get out or do something it needs to do. The U speed as a
Super
support
Fang.
mon is very good as well.
Defog. It'll defog.
Fang's
It'll
very good
taunt. It'll
pivoting.
freaking it'll Super Fang. It'll toxic. It'll Tailwind. It'll help the team out a lot.
Okay, that's what we're starting with. Okay.
Yeah. The one big the biggest flaw of this team is the problem-solving ability, because outside of DU Speed and Crobat, not a lot of mods run very different sets.
And really, Dio Speed, I only know the reason why I rated it as high as I did problem see vulnerabilities because I know Lusser with Deoxys Speed. If I didn't know Lusser's use of Deoxys Speed, I'd have probably gone lower.
Yeah. Like Crobat can run offensive sets, defensive sets, just support sets, and same goes for Dio Speed. Technically, Altaria has a little bit of wiggle room. It can run physical, special, or defensive. But after that, it's pretty simple, which what most mods want to do.
Yeah. Ursaluna, maybe if you're pushing it to be like Redacted, who would sometimes run it bulletproof AV, but even then, it's still doing Ursaluna things.
Yeah.
Like
Rotom Wash could technically nasty plot up, but most of the time Wash is just there to be a slow pivot and take
Jesus Christ, my nuts.
Okay.
Sorry. I actually not gonna explain what just happened, but continue.
We continue. Next up is
Yeah,
the person who has been flirting with Roy a lot recently, Martin.
From Pate.
what?
Has Martin moved on
he-
from Pate?
Martin has upgraded. Like, let's be fair. I am an upgrade on Pate.
Are you a pimp?
No. For legal reasons, no.
For legal reasons, he is not. Martin is a good girl, apparently.
Yep.
Good girl and gay duck.
Yeah. And they were shocked that the word daddy is the first thing that came into their type bar when they were texting their brother. So.
They should
I'm not
be
shocked.
surprised.
Yeah. I like him, but I'm not shocked.
What a freak! Anyways,
let's start off the team.
Yeah, you're not going to talk about freaks, Amelia. Come on, let's be real.
I see it. Like, I'm looking at the top 3 right now.
The top
4
are very good.
Bro.
Yeah, I would say like even top 4 is great.
That's 4 actually. This team looks sick. What the hell?
Yeah, this team looks pretty sick. It just has a few like problems, but let's get into the first things first.
Yeah.
The essential roles, there is a flying type and a ground type in Lando. Lando is one of the best ground types. There
flying
is
type in Noivern.
Yeah, they do have a fairy type. They have Golden Go as a steel type. The bulky water Slowbro, and in general they have even a grounded poison and a dark type in Makalola.
Honestly, top 8 is pretty good.
Yeah. They have.
I really like Terra Noivern here as well.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I would wish more from this team would be a way to hazard stack more efficiently than just Carcoal.
Yeah.
Because when you have Golden
Hazard-
Go,
Yeah.
when you have Golden Go, you want
Hazard
to
spam is
put
so
up hazards.
nice. Yeah.
Like, technically, Mega Diancie has rocks and spikes, but it's gonna be tough to fit. And you usually want, like, Calm Mind or Sub or
Calm
Royal
Mind.
Polish instead.
Exactly.
Unironically, I think this team would be better if you basically had regular Diancie with Terra and then something else like powerful up there, but that's nitpicking as well.
No,
to be fair.
he needs Mega D offensive. They need to Mega D offensively for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Um,
know.
Maybe
You just get a mega offensive mod and have Diancie with the hazard stacking and the Terra options to like sweep as well.
The breaking power of this team, by the way, is also a very strong point. They have Mega Diancie, they have Golden Goal, Lando, Terra Noivern, Cinderace. They will break teams apart. That's mostly all you need because most of the time he's bringing the top 3 plus Cinderace and Slowbro, and then he fits either Noivern or whatever else he needs on, depending
I
on.
will say this team may struggle a bit with ghosts if they don't bring Muckalola to a game.
Exactly.
I mean, Mech
But
is
they
one
will.
of the best
Will.
ghost types, so it's
Exactly.
or best Ghostbusters, so it's like fine.
Yeah.
I guess
They
it doesn't
will-
love being perked, but it's like there's ways around
Yeah.
it.
If they had better
exactly.
hazards
It's
higher up,
very
I'd actually
fair.
suggest Greedent for this team just as a backup option.
Yeah.
Did you just say Greedent? What's your obsession with this goddamn squirrel?
It's good. I rate Greedent. It's actually good. At 1 point, it's the best 1-pointer.
It came from the Galar region. It's his home region.
Hey. I bought Greedent and I won a match. Same bought Greedent and got 4 kills. Let's be real. Greedent's a real mon. Don't sleep on the Greedent.
You're so biased. You're so
Does
biased.
Credence remind you of yourself, if that's why you like it?
That's
No, I'm
yo,
not
for
fat.
real.
Anyway,
Do you know
You
what
got
Pokemon
them
reminds me of
chubby little
myself?
cheeks. Do you got them chubby little cheeks though?
I do have chubby little cheeks. I'm adorable, bitch.
supporting roles is where this team has a few problems because outside of Serena being a cleric in sense that of the aromatherapy and the Slowbro / Golden Go support, there isn't a lot because Charjabug and Carkle won't come that often.
Yeah.
I agree.
He's still
I'm
got
honest,
some.
coming off is
He's,
a problem.
I mean, you still got like some little stuff here and there. You have like change. You
Court
have
change.
intimidate. You have intimidate with Lando T. You have good good Thunderwave span with Slowbro as well. You got Tailwind, Wyvern. Yeah, Goldengo can spam Thunderwave as well.
Yeah, but you
there's still,
also
like,
have to figure
options
how
here.
often do these certain mons fit these moves on. Like, the Noivern is almost never going to bring Tailwind.
No, I'm saying like I know that much. I'm just saying like I'm just
I would say
pointing out like
support-wise
the
on
options
Noivern.
that they do have.
I would say support wise, Super Fang's much more of a better support option on Noivern. That's
Yeah.
actually
Super
quite
Fang as
helpful.
well,
yeah.
After the problem-solving ability, this one is the one thing that's rated a little bit too low. I wanted to fix it, but forgot because I was working on these slides for a while. The problem-solving ability is probably a little bit higher than it should be right here because, first of all, Mega Diancie is a great problem solver with the physical or special sets it can run. Then we have Lando, which can run bulky, offensive in both ways, and even stuff.
Yeah.
Goldango.
Yeah, Goldango,
Yeah, honestly,
Cinderace
I
with
rated this
its
a bit low,
huge
'cause
move pool.
Cinderace.
I did underrate Cinderace in that round. I definitely give Mega Diancie, Goldengo, and like Landorus is why I didn't rate it lower, but I was forgetting some of the Noivern sets as well, because Noivern can do a bit of variety as well, and Cinderace has a bit more variety. So I'd probably bump up to like a 7.
Yeah, like this team could be a little higher now. I wanted to change
I
it.
was very
I
tired when
forgot.
making this.
That was my bad.
Also, I was very tired when making these PRs because Clodsire ones I did at like 1 a.m. UK time. So
Yeah.
if they're bad,
You don't have to
blame me. it's
specify
fine.
UK time. I think you just had to be like 1 a.m. and then everyone will just be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's 1 a.m. UK time or.
He wants. I know. He just wants everyone to know. Like we don't already know that he's British. Like it's okay. It's okay, Roy.
Being British is part of my personality. Unless we lose at the football today, then I'm not British.
It'd be really funny.
It would be really funny.
Yes, it would actually be. I mean, it would be funny once I calm down and be like, lost to fucking Slovakia when we were the second favourites. How the fuck?
Would it be worse or better than Iceland?
Worse because I had expectations going into this tournament. Iceland, I was laughing at halftime because I was just like, I put a bet on Iceland halftime because I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have fun with this. I hated Roy Hodgson. At least Southgate, I don't mind him as much.
Fair. Well, we should probably move on.
Yeah, we should probably move on.
Yeah, before we start talking about horses again. Oh god.
Speaking of horses, ordinary.
Oh shit.
Emilio likes the slide I made, huh?
I'm looking at this fucking stupid ass logo.
What the fuck is that?
I fucking hate this guy. I hate
Why
him
is
so
the
much.
15-year-old letting people on what boobs look like? Just an all-time
The balls.
quote. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
the
I
balls.
think I know the context, but I wasn't here for the context. I'm just like, what the fuck?
It was back when Iron Monkey was still here. He was just like, guys, I've seen boobs before, or something about that. I don't know.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that more than we need to. Off to Ordinary. This time Ordinary has a bulky offense draft, unlike last time, where he told everybody he had a bulky offense draft while he just had a stall draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's still.
He had stall plus Gyarados. I mean, he had stall plus Terra Gyarados, and he was like, guys, I have Terra Gyarados. It's not stall.
Yeah. Let's get into
Yes,
it.
Anyway, let's not hate. Let's not hate. He has Toxapex, exactly. What a freaking dork.
He has, the grounded poison type Toxapex, ghost type Misdreavus, which is a little underrated with the Eviolite. He has flying types, dark type and Urshifu for single. Donphan as the ground type. The only steel type being Enamorous T with as a Terra or Stakataka. It might be a little iffy, but he can work around it probably.
It's a little.
It's workable.
Biggest problem I'd say is like the Shifu being the ghost answer is scary because like most ghosts can potentially just like Pull can just spam like Specs, Shadow Ball, or Spectre.
This team loses to fucking Spectre, is what you're saying.
Yeah, this team loses to Ghost spam, and a lot of Ghost types even have fairy coverage, so the Urshifu will be eliminated.
Spectre.
It loses to, like, let's say, for example, Life of Mismagius with like with like Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah,
like that just takes that out, bang, goes from there.
At least like Pex can check some of the ghosts just by pure bulk, but at the same time you'd want like at least like a low tier normal. You don't need Misdreavus. I don't know what it does here. Like,
cute.
It's decent, but I don't know why it's here.
You have a better normal type answer, and you have a better fighting type answer than Misdreavus.
Yeah, you get like something like Greedent or
Roy, please, for the love of God.
Porygon. Like,
I love Porygon.
I also have a big issue with this team, and that is the speed tiers that this team has. Of course, you have a Trick Room Milk with Stakataka, Enamorous, but outside of Ogerpon, nothing is very speedy because you kind of force Urshifu or Kyurem to run a Scarf most of the time. Especially when you don't bring Ogerpon, which the regular Ogerpon you might not fit every game.
Total shoot. I would actually prefer this team if it had a stick. Like, they got rid of Misdreavus, which I love. I actually don't hate Misdreavus, by the way, for context. It's a very good value. But you have like a low tier, like normal type, like a 1 point normal type, and then or like a 1 point Sticky Webber, and then have the normal type for 2 points. That would probably actually help the team on the other team.
Yeah. It would.
That could definitely be cool.
Yeah, it would help for sure. I think this team makes
sense. If it was Terra Steel, I'd actually like to see better as well.
Yeah.
I get why Rock picked, but
one thing this team excels at though is the breaking power, especially like you already have one of the biggest nukes in the game with Urshifu. Then you have Kyurem, which is almost walled by nothing if you run the right sets. And then the Terra Enamorous and Stakataka are very, very dangerous threats, especially a Stakataka.
Yeah. I don't rate Enamorous, but...
We slept on him last season, and we learned our lesson.
Yeah, that's why it's 13 points when it Terras.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy's very good. It could have been nice to have something like a better defensive type, like Terra Water with Stack Taka, but at the same time, it's fine with the ones you like. Terra Flying is definitely good, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
They're
flying
flying,
works
fighting.
for what.
Yeah, they make
I
they
think
all make
flying,
sense.
flying actually unironically is one of the better defensive typings for it because it basically makes it immune to the ground attacks and resist the fighting
True.
ones.
The problem is obviously if you have to like switch in and out, you don't want to run boots, so like you might be hampered by hazards, but or rocks, but it's probably fine.
The one
There
thing I
really
also
was
have a
not fun.
problem with is the Inamros being Terra Flying above instead of Terra Fairy.
Harry,
I
this
get it.
kid
'cause
just
if we
likes
want to fight
terrifying,
something.
Terra Blast.
Yeah, I get it, but I also kind of think Fairy's better.
Yeah.
Even then.
And the supporting roles on
I
his
do-
team are very good, though. Ogrepon has some support tools, Rotom Heat,
For sure.
then we have the Mischievous, which is there. It can be a nice niche support mon in certain matchups.
Yeah, with
sure.
if you run like Will-O-Wisp, Hex, Pain Split, fourth move, it can be a right nuisance.
Yeah.
He's got good like Donphan and Toxapex, so it'll be annoying with like knockoff, getting rid of these items. Like,
Yeah. One thing to note, the removal is Rotom Heat and Donphan.
you got a good defogger, you got a good spinner. I think it's fair.
It's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst. Like honestly, I'd rather this than having 3 ones that don't work. Like it's basically defog. It's better to have 2 good ones than 3 okay ones. I think.
Mm-hmm. The one thing you could argue is that he could have replaced the Ogrepon with something that would fit more. I know he has the Ogrepon problem mostly just for speed tiers because he's not gonna bring it that often. With his top 3 plus one of the Terramons, then he puts on Pex and most likely Donphan.
No,
Gives him an
it'll
option
probably
to
come
fight
more
them
than we
as well.
think.
It will
I think it'll come more
probably, but it's also ordinary, so he might just run defensive sets on every mon except for Urshifu.
I mean, we do remember the season where Ordinary drafted Baxcalibur and brought it to 2 matchups.
Yeah.
And then brought Mega Ordino to like 7 of them.
Yeah.
But actually using
All
last season,
9, all 9 of them.
no, all 9, sorry. Ogapon, but I didn't expect to bring it as much as I did, but when it came, it was very useful. It was actually much more flexible than I thought it'd be, especially with the item. It's kind of like weirdly flexible if you use it right.
Yeah.
I don't think I even used it that well.
The one thing that's also very good about this team is the hazard setting. There's Donphan, there's Pex, there's Ogrepon. They can all set hazards. I think even Stacka gets rocks if he wants them potentially on that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think it's not amazing, but it's fine.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is that, from what I remember from using it, the Donphan really struggles to both set rocks and
Remove.
spin. Like it can, but you don't usually want to only do either.
Yeah.
And like if Donphan can't reliably rock, then you don't have like Stacka does not rock either because it's not like Trick Room. But it's fine. Like Donphan can run both if you really want to.
Exactly.
You just have to like.
It also doesn't have to run both. You know, you could just run one and then just like have.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like if you want rocks and I guess Rotom Heat can also defog if necessary.
The one thing about this team that's the weakest, though, is the problem-solving ability, because outside of Kyurem, not a lot will run different sets. There's the potential offensive Donphan set. Pex will always be defensive. Ogrepon can be spikes, technically. There is offensive Rotom. But outside of Kyurem, there's not the biggest difference in sets.
I will say this: Ogapon, when I used it, I didn't run I ran different sets each time I brought it, but that's it. It's Ogapon and Kyurem for me. That's it. I think Ogapon can be flexible, but otherwise, not really much flexibility here.
Ogapon's pretty flexible. It's Ogapon and Kyurem, I think, for sure, with like some niche options in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but with ordinary teams, we usually end up hating him. He does well with them most of the time. So
yeah.
The
fucking Among Us tryhard ordinary.
Among Us tryhard ordinary. Gotta love and hate this guy. Love and hate this guy.
Next up is our glorious King Calambrito.
Shut up, Peter.
What the
fuck? Number 1, Emilio had to even bit his dick off in D&D.
Yeah.
Callum.
I mean, I will say this. Yes, guys, I'm your mod. You must all submit to me. That's a bit out of date.
Yeah, that is out of date.
Right.
Zeb, it's your turn to
By the way,
Immediately
You have to
just
take the-
looking at. Oh,
I was just saying you have to take Callum's spot. Like everyone has to submit to you now.
Oh yeah, true. I just immediately looking at this team, having your highest point mon be 16 points is interesting.
Yeah.
We had that happen a lot in Whooper. Like there's the freakishly amount of teams that did that in Whooper.
The thing is,
Like
for Callum, it isn't even that bad because we know what type of player Callum is, so he will still be able to use this team very well. His first pick being Slowking Galar into Iron Treads is very interesting. For the essentials, the Grounded Poison in Slowking Galar is one of the best in the game as a poison type. Then we have Treads, we have Weavile as a dark type, which will punish almost every ghost or psychic type. Woggerpawn plus Aloe as water types. Flying type is there. Normal type is there. There's only not a ghost type, which for his team might run into some problems, but they're still Slowking Galar.
Resist. The quad resist.
I don't
He has
think
two
he
quad
minds.
resist. He has two quad resist. He has two quad resist to fighting. So I don't think it's
it'll
that
be
bad.
alright.
It's fine.
Yeah.
By the
He'll be
way,
fine.
I'm just in the chat now posting what his new team is because he changed the whole thing.
Yeah, he changed almost everything. I know the Togekiss is gone now. That's the one thing I know.
Togekiss is gone. Ogerpon Water's gone. What else is gone?
Porygon Z and Throw are gone.
Look. He's gone. Yep.
He picked up Hatterene, Shaman,
Still
Rotom,
no
Fan, and Keldeo instead.
And also, he
God, I hate
moved the
Keldeo,
Terror
he's
off
so
a Lola
ugly.
Mola onto Hatterene and made Shaman Terror.
Yeah. So, personally, I think the other team, the team he had when we did the ranking is, I like the team a little more, but also knowing Callum, he will probably use the other team better.
Yeah. Probably
Or he
fits
could be
him better
trolling.
again.
Who knows?
He could be trolling. Yeah.
I overall prefer the new. Yeah, I overall prefer the new Terrors because while I love Porygon Z as a Terror, amazing. Fire was a weird choice, ain't gonna lie.
to break steals.
Lola Mola. Oh yeah, that's true actually. I for Ground then.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Ground spam's more fun. Ground normal spam's much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to lose to Skarmory, man.
Yeah. This team, but talking
Porygon
about
has
this,
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. You just a Thunderbolt, mate. What?
just talking about the team.
Does it not
had
get
when we
flamethrower
ranked it
anyways?
more. No, it does not.
No, it doesn't get.
No.
It doesn't get fire coverage.
Is it not?
It gets
What
electric
the
and
hell?
ghost coverage. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Talking
Use
more
it
about the
more,
team
mate,
he
it's
had
good.
before, though, because that's the one we ranked. The breaking power on this team is pretty good with Weavile, Porygon Z, Woggerpawn. Even like offensive threat sets work. Togekiss sets.
D-Dance Tyranitar.
Yeah. And this team struggles a little bit in supporting roles. So, like, outside of Slowking Galar, Togekiss, and Mola, potentially Ogerpon sets, this team will not support a lot. The one thing I
That's
also
probably why I
noticed
think it's
is the hazard removal, which relies mostly on treads.
I mean, Treads is one of the
Yeah,
best removers
okay.
in the game, so it's like it's not bad.
Yeah.
It also has I mean, I know it's traded out now, but it's also had Togekiss, which is like another fine removal option.
Yeah.
Like when you have Treads, you
wasn't-
don't need much more. Oh, yeah, Hatterene, yeah, true.
I would say he's improved his removal. Yeah, he removed Togekiss and added Hatterene and Rotom Fan, so I think overall it's better.
Doesn't even Shaman get default?
I
I
wrote
think it
that-
does.
No,
I don't think it does.
Trust
No,
me,
it
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drafted regular Shaman.
It definitely doesn't.
Well, anyway.
Shaman's kind of later.
Yeah, the supporting roles on this team were a little underwhelming. He fixed it a little bit with having Shaman now. Like, the wish passing of Aloe, of course, was there before. There's Togekiss and Slowking, but outside of that, and maybe potential Wolver sets, there wasn't a lot. Of course, Slowking and Aloe could have been enough for most games. But having like a clear-cut cleric is maybe better than forcing it on Ogre Pawn or Togekiss.
Do we want Jacob
Ogre Pawn
to
doesn't
join
get it.
us?
Oh, it doesn't get okay.
What did you say, Roy?
Do we want Jakota to join us? He's asking if he wants to join.
I mean, he can.
I
He
feel
can hop on if he wants to. I don't mind.
he can join when I'm
When
gonna
he
leave
leaves, yeah.
soon, so he can join then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the problem-solving ability of Callum's team, there is some months that run different sets. Like there's the T-Tar set. Weavile can run Band or just Pursuit stuff. Slowking is a very underrated problem solver with being either physically, especially defensive, or the very occasional offensive set.
The belly drum sweeper set.
Yeah,
More like nasty flutter call, right?
yeah. Like this team can do a lot more than it seems like. Like even the PZ can run it. It can just be choice. It can be set up with agility or nasty plot.
And there's also T-Torch. Even though it's a mega, it's like one of the more. It can still do a lot. Like it can be relay bulk, it can be DD, rock polish.
It can even be
rocker,
like mixed
knock.
or special offensive if he wants it to.
Yeah.
Because like Slowking Galar, especially as well, is the one like there's a reason why I draft it nearly every time I can.
Yeah.
Because it's just
so
good and so flexible, and it just covers so many holes. Like when I draft it, I usually bring it to nearly every game because it's nearly always good in every game I bring it.
It's just so easy to bring, and you can bring the same set every week because it's like 2 attacks, chili,
and then either slack off or a like toxic or thunder wave, whatever you need.
Yeah. Obviously, it also has like a wide move pool, so it, like you can bring a lot of weird stuff if you want to, but you don't need to.
Exactly.
But it's like you have the option if you like want to do like some trick black sludge, if you want to do like trick room, even not on this team probably, but like in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Callum's team in general is very solid, and knowing Callum, he will do well with any team that's given to him because he's Callum.
Callum.
Yeah.
Depends how much he gives a fuck or not.
Yeah. It really
depends
how much he gives a fuck.
No one is rating on the teams though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a bit now, I will head off. I will probably be back, but we'll see.
All right.
Goodbye for a bit.
Jacoto, if he wants to join now.
Yeah.
Cool.
While you guys get Jacoto to join, we can talk about Order, who beat Sully with his own mascot Appleton, which is still a very funny thing.
Funny. Made Sully quit BTL.
Yeah.
Made Sully quit BTL.
Well, the way that's easy.
And Order is the number 1 semifinals loser in this league. Lost in semifinals 7 times.
God, he's just like me, but like actually no, I broke the quarterfinal curse. Oh, it's like...
And you lost the final there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you didn't have to go after me like that.
Let's start with Order's team.
You said it's bad.
The essentials. The steel type is Ace, Alone, Sandslash, or Mawile, which I don't personally like as their sole steel types. A defensive steel type would be a lot better. But there is there's still one of the best ground types in the game, Gliscor. Then they have the Bulky Water and Slowking, which is very good. They have a Grounded Poison and Amoonguss. They don't have a normal type, but they have a Ghost type in Skeldor. And they don't really need the normal type because Amoonguss will take most fighting type hits. And Gliscor will take normal type hits. So yeah,
they did sort of fix it in their changes because they made a couple of changes. They dropped Skeledirge and they dropped. Oh no, they didn't. They moved Terror off the Enchant on top. They do have a type if they need it on Arcanine. That's more of an offensive one most of the time.
Yeah.
When they do that.
So they swapped out the Skeledirge for an Arcanine and moved the Terraform Yancha to Arcanine, which losing your Ghost type might actually be a detriment because you still have like monsters like Gliscor and Slowking to take the hits from fighting in normal types, but then again, there's coverage options. Like a lot of fighting types get Ice Punch, or knockoff these days. So a little more careful play around that will be needed. But
You have to,
the
There's some more
hazard
things to
setting on
play
this
around.
team is very good. Like Gliscor is one of the best hazard setters in the game.
Moral can in a pinch.
Yeah.
Alone Sazash can in a pinch.
The one big problem
Mostly
is
just Gliscor now.
yeah. The one big problem in this team is removal though, because outside of Gliscor and Alone Sandslash, there's no removal.
Yeah, and honestly, Alone
freaky.
Sandslash and this team, you're bringing it as an offensive option. You're not bringing it defensively on this team.
So
and honestly, that's how you should.
considering
defensive
there's
Terra, maybe.
Considering there's also only one Pokemon that's flying or levitating, spikes will hurt this team a lot, like regular spikes.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So Order will be forced to run boots on a lot of his defensive Pokemon, which I guess he can do, but
it can work.
Boots is a great item.
If he brings defensive Arcanine, for example, with Teleport and Morning Sun, it can work because that normally would wear boots anyway. Skeledudge would have run boots anyway. Slowking can run boots. He runs boots and ladder. Mungus can probably even work with boots as well. And Mienshao is pseudo. Yeah, I think honestly, it's a weakness, but I could see him running boots on a lot of mons here.
yeah, like Hazard Stacking will probably happen against him. That's just a given. But Order will probably find a way to work around that. Onto the breaking power, having Mega Mawile plus Darkrai is a very good 1-2 punch, first of all.
There's Terra Mienshao too.
Mienshao isn't Terra anymore, but a Terra Arcanine is added instead, which is just as good. And having
honestly, I don't think Mienshao needs Terra on this team. It's still good.
And having a small Snow Core with the Sand Slash is really good because either you bring the Vanillux or you have the Chilly Reception of Slowking, which the Sand Slash will really enjoy, and it can do a lot of damage.
Vanillux hits surprisingly hard as well. It actually does hit surprisingly hard if you bring the right sets.
There's even like the occasional Sword Stance Gliscor set with Facade and Earthquake.
Skeledudge was part of the breaking power as well with Torch Sun because that can get out of hand, but that's gone. But Arcanine can be offensive as well. Choice Band Terra normal, extreme speed is going to get some kills, and in some matchups they got not much normal resist.
Yeah. So onto the supporting roles. The supporting roles on this team are pretty good. They have Amoonguss, they have Slowking, they have Hat Skeledudge, which turns into an Arcanine, which is pretty similar in the supporting sense. The Vanillux with Aurora Veil is also a big thing to notice about this.
Yeah, that could be key in some matchups as well. Also, they can run screens on Slowking with like K, and then just go Chilly or Teleport.
Yeah,
that's an option as well. It really does. There's also Trick Room as well for Mega Mawile in some matchups as well.
The one big thing I want to mention about the supporting roles here is that Amoonguss is a perfect partner for Darkrai.
Hey, you can put things to sleep and then it's like dark. Yeah.
Shit, that's a good shout.
Bad dreams. Yeah.
I didn't
even think of that. I didn't think about that either.
I would have made this 9 if I thought of that. Good shout.
No, I thought it was an 8 with this. Because even though the combination exists with Amoonguss and Darkrai, it won't happen that often, but it is there.
Yeah. It's still there. Yeah. And you shouldn't have just spoiled the tech like that. SMH, what the heck, man?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The one big problem with the team is the flexibility, though, of the problem solving. Not a lot of mons will run different sets. Amoonguss will be defensive. Slowking will be most of the time defensive. Skeledudge
will run nasty fight.
Skeledudge could have been a good part of the problem solving because it can run defensive or like just the offensive Torch Song sets, which gets replaced by Arcanine now, which Arcanine is still very a Pokemon that can run a lot of different sets. But Darkrai, Mega Mawile will run most of the time the same sets. Darkrai has just a lot more coverage.
Yeah, and he can run physical occasionally, like
yeah, and then it's not as bad as it seems. Like we ranked it as a 5. It's solid, but the versatility is there. But it will probably rarely come because most of his mons already do the job they have to do, and they do it very well.
Very correct.
Yeah.
Very correct.
Yeah, I'm right.
Off to the next team, though. The Iron Bundle
Yeah, I
Rain
agree.
with
Ryoin?
Archaludon.
Kind of corny. Oh,
It's a Rain team with Bundle and Archaludon.
I once
Yeah,
first picked
fuck,
Maractus.
man.
Oh, why'd you say that like that's a bad thing? Maractus is so broken.
I know, right?
And
Why is
I
Maractus-
unironically
one thing to
really
note
love
is last time they
Maractus.
had a Rain team,
And-
they went 5-7 and dodged regulation of a semi-meme game. So this is, they say this is their redemption.
I mean, the first question is we need to lower the points because there's no Maractus, so this loses some points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why this isn't 16th.
Big thing about the Sensor rolls, they do have like Drapion as a poison dark type, which works well. They have Swampert as a ground type. They have 2 flying types. But this team has problems that just will come with a Rain team. Because a lot of Pokemon on this team will only work well in Rain, like the Floats or the Swampert. Well, the Archaludon works a lot better in Rain.
Yeah, it's still okay outside of rain. Thunderous T works better in rain.
Yeah.
Like, also as well, one thing I did notice as well, with Sinister Terror is gonna need it might need to come defensive in some matchups because Dragon or Fairy spam into this team is very good if that doesn't Terror.
Yeah.
Because their Steel type doesn't resist Dragon. They're all Fairy. They don't have an actual Fairy type, and their Poison type also doesn't resist Fairy.
Yeah. That's the big problem why Essential Rules are weighed down. Because Fairy or Dragon Spam, like Roy said, it will be very detrimental to this team. Like, considering that your only Steel and only Dragon resist or immunity will be Sinistra. That's a big problem.
It's a big problem. It's a good mon, but like you're forcing that to be a defensive mon that's going to come way more than you want it to come because you do want to occasionally bring floats or to nuke. I will say on the Terrors, I am curious by Terra Stella. Probably one of the few mons it makes some sense on. I would prefer Grass, but Stella could also be quite fun as well.
Yeah. The one big thing and the best thing about this team though is the breaking power. Just the top 3 plus Mega Swampert and Rain are dangerous enough, but then you add a Floatzel onto that, you have a Terrappa goes in the back, and even the Sinister who can run just like Calm Mind says this team will bust some teams open very quickly.
I believe Jakota's about to join us in a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
The biggest part of the offense is Bundle and Archaludon, very obviously.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, on hazard removal, I actually like the hazard removal. Terrapicos is a good one for this team and gives them a one-off resisted hit as well, which could be quite handy if you're not bringing Sinister.
Yeah.
And also Pelipper and Thunderous are pretty good removers.
Yeah. The one thing that's a little less good is the hazard setting.
Yeah.
Because outside of Mega Swampert and Drapion, there isn't a lot that...
Archaludon as well.
Archaludon, yes. But Archaludon rarely wants to fit that on. Same with Mega Swampert.
You really want to be Assault Fest a lot of the time on Archaludon, in my opinion.
Yeah. After the supporting roles, though, with having Pelipper and Sinistra is a very good supportive core, and then you bring on the Terrapagos, which has a lot of varieties. Even niche stuff like Anchor Iron Bundle is a thing, I think.
100%. I honestly, the amount Iron Bundle, I would often when I was running at boots, I would either have Encore or Sub or Taunt. They were just such good moves to have on the moveset, especially because you don't want it. Then it gives you more opportunities to click Hydro Pump and not miss.
Wait, can you move Jakota real quick? I don't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I thought it was about to tell me off the Iron Bundle joke thing, but yeah.
The one big problem about this team, though, is the versatility of this team, like the problem solving, because you see most of these mons, they will just run one set and run with that.
Great. Right, there we go. And he is added. Hey, Dakota.
Hello, Dakota.
Hello. I couldn't have said it better myself.
You couldn't have said it better myself, man. Talking about this team's problems, Iron Bundle will be boots or booster, maybe specs. Our Chalon will be AV most of the time, maybe an offensive item. Thunders will be boots most of the time. Same with Pelipper, it will be either the rain extending rock or boots. There isn't a lot of things that will run different sets on this team. Most of the time, it's just gonna be the same sets with like different moves.
Choice specs Hurricane. I don't know what you mean from Pelipper.
I mean, actually, that's an option. To be fair.
Yeah.
But I was
It does
gonna
damage,
say-
man. It does damage.
Should we just let Dakota speak a minute just to see if we can hear him now?
Yeah.
Oh, yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Now we can
Yep.
hear you.
Now
I
we
can hear you
hear
now.
you.
Perfect.
What's up, dude?
Hey, dude.
What's up?
You joined us in the middle of PRs. We're at like what, number 10?
Yeah.
No, we're about to
Yeah,
move to number
I'm
9.
telling
Yeah, I have time. Do you guys want?
Yeah, we're
Is this
about
like
to
a
go to
prep or we
number
going?
9 now.
Yeah, just go to number 9.
Feel free to give us your input. Number 9,
By the way, within 20
Terminal.
minutes we'll be hearing cheering from the household.
It's not terminal,
has
it's
been-
terminal.
It's not terminal.
Now?
It's what?
It's terminal. Not
Terminal.
terminal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna smack you in the face.
Kinky.
You.
So this is the number one Pate hater.
Number one paid hater has beef with Pate for no reason at all, and has beaten Pate more times on ladder than he has an actual draft. So
W
Which is
player.
a lot.
W
to be
player.
fair.
W player.
I like parts of this team, and other parts of this team I'm a bit on.
let's start with the essential rules, though. First of all, the ground
There's
type
a Terra
is
Cricket.
the ground type is the
Roy,
best
there's a
ground
Terra
type in the
Cricket.
game. That's fucking great, Tusk.
What was that?
Great
Sorry?
Tusk.
Oh, Great Tusk, great. Great Tusk is
Yeah.
amazing. No, the hazards on the team are amazing. Like,
Yeah, they have Empoleon for hazard setting, Aggron, Cricketune and Scolipede. They have automatic hazards from Ceaseless Edge, Samurai to Sui, and Tusk can run rocks as well. So hazards are just amazing on this team.
yeah. This is why I think you could go for a different 1 point, like Sticky Web on the team. 'Cause you have so much spikes elsewhere. I don't even know if you even need it on Cricketune. Because the Cricketoone's niche is it can do spikes and Sticky Web, but I guess if you're bringing it, you're bringing it for both anyway. What else are you going to run on Cricketune?
Yeah,
Choice band, bro. It's Terra.
even like the removal,
yeah,
they have
true.
Empoleon, they have
It's not good,
Florges, they
guys.
have Great Tusk, which are the only removals they need. They can still run removal on Latios if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Special defensive steel type and a physically defensive steel type. They got 2 for some reason, and you know what? I don't hate it.
Yeah, they got
Gotta
they
be
got a
tough.
natural, they got a good fairy type, they got a grounded poison type. Like the
Honestly,
only
the essential rules are a little low for.
like
Yeah,
the big
There was a
complaint
reason
is
I
that
rated
there
it
isn't a natural flying type. There's only levitate Latios.
That was it. Because that was my concern. Because I did actually look through and see, is there a Psyguard 50%? And there is. So their best defensive answer is either Cricketune or Scolipede.
Tusk.
You can run mixed with the Psyguard 50%. I can tell you that now. And I would be running mixed here. Because I guarantee you get some coverage to hit it, especially.
Does it? I gotta
I
check.
think it's Draco. Draco will be enough.
Yeah, Draco is enough. Because Tusk isn't the biggest fan of special moves. This team is
I think it's a trust level.
this team is a very good team in general, though, because even looking at the breaking power, there's a Great Tusk, there's
I guess
Latios,
grass not. Never mind. I guess grass not. Never mind.
and
There's,
there's
that's that.
there's Victini, and there's Terra Scolipede, which I think is one of the best offensive Terra mods you can use.
Yeah, the
I
breaking
wouldn't
power is
dunk
very
it
good.
off that.
I've been using Samurai Hisui for the first time this gen in BTL, and my god, do I love it as with band. With band, it's just so fun.
Yeah, like
But
the
you
offense on
can-
this team is more than enough, and the defense doesn't lack. There's potential defensive Tusks. There's Empoleon, there's Florges, there's the Aggron. Like defense won't crumble easily as well. The one thing this team lacks in is supporting power, because most of the support will come from Florges itself. Otherwise, there is little support.
Yeah, Empoleon, I guess at Persian like spike support, but yeah, this is basically very much a bulky offense team.
Yeah, this is the better version of what Ordinary wanted to do.
Yeah, or no, too stuck in his storm mode.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's a nice balanced team. I think it's sick, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other
It's the
teams better
kind of
be
team I
cracked. This
like.
team is fire.
It's the kind of team that I like to draft.
Yeah.
Other than like Terra Cricketune, this team is fire.
Even like the problem
Ah,
solving
yeah.
on this team.
It's-
Victini will run a lot of different sets. There is
Victini's a great problem
Diladios. There is some variations of Grey Tusk sets. Like even a Calm Mind Fortress could pop up. Like this team won't be
I will
lacking
say
in
this,
what
I
it
have-
needs.
I have just remembered one set that could, in the right situation, be really funny and actually cause a lot of damage. Technician, Terror Bug, Fury Cutter could actually do some damage in the right spot. Because basically, Terror, if you don't know, if you terror and then use a move, if it's below 60 base power, it will then
It'll
become
boost to
60 base
60.
power. Like
Mhm.
Absorb, like I got Emilio to run in a mean battle the other month.
I forgot what it was. I think it was.
It was a
What did we
Roserade, but
use?
yeah.
It was Roserade. It was
Yeah.
Roserade. I think it was
No,
Mega Drain or
I-
something. Something stupid.
Yeah,
Technician
no,
boosted
I know.
Mega Drain.
I said use Absorb because it'd be funnier with Absorb.
So
It was the same power, but it was just like it's funnier with Absorb.
Yeah. But
I
the
mean,
number
Terror
of
Ghost with the sticky webs is good anyways, because block off Rapid Spin, force out a Defogger, or
exactly.
force a
Good
Defog
shout,
lead.
precisely.
Like, defogging into this team isn't good because there's Napoleon right there, which
There's
will
Napoleon. Yeah.
appreciate the competitive
Yeah.
boost a lot.
Exactly. There's
That's another
Punish.
thing that really helps it.
So there will the number one paid hater has a pretty good team. So
Yeah.
The rest of the teams better be cracked. This one's fire.
we have Prep Master for
Iron
26.9.
Monkey. I mean, I'm sorry.
What was that?
These are great screenshots. These are great screenshots.
This is great.
These are great.
Yeah,
That's a
mostly
great
for BTL as
logo.
well.
Cardinals, sick.
She
For
slithered
context,
on my
saying
wing
on
for
her
a
tail-
first impression.
I scream on her tail till she misty explodes. She slithered on my wings for a first impression. Why is
You
that one
already know
actually
This
she'll
was
go hard,
walk on
originally
my
Iron
wake
Monkey's
till I
team, and
hydro
same
steam.
bro? How the slither wing one go hard though? Like actually,
There's
Yeah.
different
The
ones.
Slitherwing one goes hard. The Slitherwing one's kind of crazy.
it's goes
By the way,
hard.
can I just say I'm very sad that Seb's not here because I wanted to make fun of Seb for the fact that Seb Striker was actually drafted for once and he didn't draft it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Talking
Yeah,
The
about
only Zeb strike up.
Prep Master for 26.9's team though. First of all, the essential rules. There is a dark type. There is a steel type. There is
He's got a normal type. He's got a grounded poison.
yeah. There is no ghost type, which is okay because there's a bull and a moltres, which will take the
Yeah.
normal type and fighting type
Honest-
moves.
Honestly, yeah. Fighting types, you're gonna be scared to click close
I'm
combat because of
Umbreon as
Moltres.
well. Umbreon will take the ghost type moves all day long.
I thought you said Umbreon was there for fucking fighting
No.
resist. I was like,
No.
what? Are you on, Roy?
This team's
Fighting type counter.
this team has not a lot of hazard setting, which is the biggest flaw I think personally, because
Seb, you're here.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, this is perfect timing.
oh yeah,
The game went.
Look what Zane
nice.
drafted. Look what Zane drafted.
Huh? Oh no! What happened to the amazing
Hey.
Obama Snow?
Byron
Well,
Monkey.
he upgraded. He got Seb Striker instead.
yeah.
Yeah, he upgraded.
Yeah, true.
The one thing to note about this team is that the hazard setting is pretty weak outside of Nihilego.
Yeah. There's Nia Lego and that's it.
Livani, bro.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
sticky west
Livani,
from Livani,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
And-
yeah, that's not.
Removal
Yeah,
is
the hazards
okay.
kind of suck.
There is Starmie and Moltres, but
Starmie Moltres.
that's it.
I think that's enough. I think that to me though, Starmie, you're doing it mostly offensively. I think on this team, especially with the Terror. But honestly, Moltres is one I do love as basically as a defogger. It's a very good defensive defogger.
Yeah.
You do have to run boots every game, but that's fine. You just you punish knockoff if they're not smart about it.
The big thing about this team, though, and what I like the most is, of course, the breaking power, because this team will shatter a lot of teams.
Yeah, everything here.
Yeah,
can
like
break.
having this Substrike is just so it's such a good breaker.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
such a-
Especially with Terra Eye.
Nice
Yeah.
plug, nice plug. Nice plug.
He's plug.
Like we have Melmetal,
Um,
which will double Iron Bash stuff. We have Zygarde, which is an almost unwallable demon. Then we have Lopunny
Moltres,
Mega,
yeah.
Nihiligo, Bull. Even Starmie and Moltres can run offense of this team. Like even a niche Sword Sense
Special-
Leavanny set.
I know it's
works.
probably bad, but
Special offense is a little weaker though.
part of me
Like
would actually say,
Nihiligo.
part of me would actually say, if anything, like I'd actually have, if it was my team, I might have Moltres as the Terror, because Terror Fire Burn Up would be insane on this team.
Yeah.
I think every PR video where someone drafts Moltres and they don't Terra it, Roy will always bring up Terrify Burn Up.
Yeah.
I will always. You're not wrong.
I will.
Because like I knocked with Ordinary and he traumatized me with that set because I could not think of a way to beat it. I won the match because the person didn't bring it. So
a good thing about this team as well is the supporting power, supporting roles like Umbreon will support greatly. There's Starmie, there's Moltres, which will just be like support through Flame Body and Defog. Then even stuff like Leavanny and Zebstrika have niche support options.
Bulu as well, because Bulu gives grassy terrain, which really
Grassy
helps
terrain.
Zygarde.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
the grassy terrain in combination with Nihilego is also great.
and Melmetal.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
just
I mean-
anything weak to ground, really.
I mean, Nihilego still dies to majority of earthquakes, even in terrain, but it's nice to boost Grass Knot is actually the bigger thing almost.
It helps Melmetal more with like defense.
Provides healing as well.
Yeah.
That's the main
Yeah.
thing. It's the healing thing. Because with Zygarde, you're healing it up. It's not reducing the power of the 1,000 arrows, and it makes Zygarde even more of a menace and gives it more chances to set up.
Like even something like Melmetal, you can put an EV on Melmetal and it will still passively recover from the grassy terrain now.
Helps it out a lot.
An unfortunate weakening your earthquake, but Melm overall still has more positives than negatives.
The
And like you still have super powerful like fighting coverage or
Yeah.
like coverage for steals.
yeah, like the one
Yeah,
thing
Grassy
that's
terrain's good
a
on
little
this
weaker
team
than
because
again
like
on-
Zygarde's gonna be clicking 1,000 arrows anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like
like you can make the argument that this team doesn't will not run a lot of different sets. Most things will run the same set. Like Umbreon will be Foul Play, Wish, Toxic, Protect most of the time. Maybe a Baton Pass in there, or maybe a Thunder Wave, depending on what you want. Zygarde will mostly be either Dragon Dance, Coil, or Band. And then Moltres will be supportive, Flame Body, Flying type. Starmie will be there for Flip Turn into Rapid Spin, maybe some Skulls, maybe some offensive sets even. Like there isn't a lot of variety on this team.
But what it does well.
Yeah.
And also, this is the Heat Master, so he'll probably come up with something pretty good.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
okay.
thing Zane is known for is having heat sets a lot of the
Cooker.
time.
being a cooker.
Yeah. And he will cook some stuff up that people will not see coming. Yeah, but that was number 8, Zane. And off we go to number 9, Spike.
Oh, it's my draft goat.
This is another one who's also changed their team slightly.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, that is not my draft goat. Making our job harder. So.
He dropped Mega Gardevoir for Gardevoir, and he dropped, what was it? He dropped something else. Lapras. He dropped Lapras for. I got on it. Sorry, 1 second to pin down. Belly Bolt, and he moved the Terror to Gardevoir. So that's what's changed on this team.
Yeah, like this team.
And Belly Bolt's Terror as well. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, first of all, let's go into the essential rules. Ground Poison type in Glamora, Flying type in Thundurus, Ground type in Palossand, Normal type is there,
Meow.
Dark type in Meow is there, Fairy type is there, Steel type is there. Like the only complaint you could make is that they're
It's fine.
yeah, like the only complaint you could make is that their bulky water is Lapras.
Which they don't even
doesn't
have.
even have anymore. It's Belly Bolt now.
Quack can be bulky as well, you know?
It can be, but It's a
You
bit
can
of a
run
iffy
AV
bulky
on
one.
Quack or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want Avion?
I think
Quack?
you
Honestly, you
can.
can
I
run
think, to
like
be honest, mate,
Max
you're
Fizz
better
Dev
playing
Rocky
Max.
Helmet, bro. Y'all
Oh,
don't know
and
the
Roost.
methods.
You get Roost as well.
And Roost, yeah, it does get Roost, yeah.
Does get Roost, yeah.
But in general, the essentials of this team are great because first of all, there's a lot of hazards on this team. Meowscarada,
This is a
Glamora.
Glamora, bro. This is a Glamora.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that one.
Good more. It's so good.
Every ladder player hates Glamora. And even
But
like
yeah,
the removal is not weak. There's a Kamala, there's a Quaquaval, there's a Thunderous that can all remove for you. So you
Mortal Spin.
yeah, even the Mortal Spin from Glamora is there.
Corrosion Mortal Spin can be very fun as well in some matchups.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them are like reliable removal, but you have enough option that you'll get by the way. Like there's not like one like super good remover, but when you have like 4 or 5 different options, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like next up for this team is the breaking power, which Gouging Fire, Meowscarada, and Mega Gardevoir do break a lot on their own.
regular
And then there's
Gardevoir now.
Quaquaval and Thunderous. But outside of that, like the middle part of the team, like Escavalier to Palossand will be either offensive detriments or maybe like an Escavalier can be good of a sort in a sort sense, for example.
Yeah. And with the
Escavalier's
changes, I say it's
fire.
about the same because Terra Gardevoir can do
Is
some damage.
Gardevoir? Oh, Terra Gardevoir is a nuke, bro. Oh, bro, that
Yeah,
thing hits.
Terra Fairy Moonblast is going to nuke some teams. Like, see the Rain team. Just bring
Yeah.
Trace, Terra Fairy Gardevoir. What is your answer to Moonblast?
Nah, for real. Fucking climbed RU with that same fucking set, like fucking Scarf Trace. There's nothing but fucking Polytoad Rain teams in RU ladder. Pisses me off.
But Gardevoir, honestly, Gardevoir is such a fun counter to Rain.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it is.
like personally, I feel like the breaking power goes down a little bit without the Mega Gardevoir, but regular Gardevoir is still a very good replacement, and they did fix a
Yeah.
little bit of other stuff.
Friendly Bolt helps a little bit as well. I think Terra is actually a better Terra mon for their team because it's actually a good bulky
Yeah, for sure.
water.
Like the biggest issue with this team is the support because outside of like the Kamala, Pals, and Lapras, there is Glamora and Thunderous, maybe some Gardevoir.
Glamora
I think
Thunderous do
Thunderwave
support
goes
a
a
lot.
long
I
way,
just
though.
wish. I wish it had a Wish Passer, or like a set Cleric, a good one at least.
Yeah, Kamala's
I
not
say
doing the job well.
Gouging Fire with Burning Bulwark can be a support mon as well. You're not doing it often, but like 1 or 2 matchups, you can do that as a defensive option.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
bulky gouging with like maybe like Dragon Tail Morning Sun can be pretty good.
Yeah.
Breaking Swipe, yeah.
Breaking might are more for actually like bulky DD sets.
In the game, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
that can be good as well.
like talking about like the defensive Gouging Fire sets, that this team shines the most in the problem solving ability just because of how much different stuff most mods
Gouging
can run.
Fire.
Agreed. You can
Gouging
run
Fire,
special
Meow.
Meow.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like
mean-
Fire Meow, bro.
Thunderous can be physically offensive with Defiant, for example, if you wanted to. There's like different sets of Glamora as well. There's like just a simple hazard stacker.
Green,
There's
green
then there's-
Scarf.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Like
The
there's
Meteor
a lot
Beam.
of stuff this team can do.
Like, I think it even improved. With Mega Gardevoir going, you've got Gardevoir, which has a lot more options than Mega Gardevoir. You've
Because of
got,
the item slot, yeah.
yeah, Bellibolt is about the same as Lapras, because Lapras is really as a terror, it's only doing a few things, as someone who loves Lapras.
Bellable definitely a good bit better. I've seen that be very annoying for a lot of teams to deal with.
I think overall it's a better mon. I think that is an upgrade. I think Gardevoir is actually better on this team than Mega Gardevoir, so I think they've actually made the team even better with that change.
Yeah. Like the biggest complaint about this team is like a little bit of their defense running on like low tier mons like Escavalier and Palossand.
Yeah.
I think you can make it work.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I called Spike my draft go. He drafted Glamora. I definitely take everything back.
Let's go to the next
He
team
changed-
then, before Emilio
Changed his
talks
team
more
and
about
kept
Spike.
Glamora. I love the guy. He fucking hate Glamora. Anyways,
At the top of this team, we have a Pokemon
Alex.
I hate, Spectre. Hallex, who is
Hate-
friends with Aaron.
Hate as in, do you hate as in you think it's bad, or hate as in you hate facing it?
Both.
I hate
Fair.
Sneasler, but that's
That's
because of like aesthetically. Sneasler looks so fucking hideous. Oh my
My
god.
only slight dislike here is I hate Sneasler and Tapu Fini as a pairing because half the point of Sneasler is hack them with Diaclaw and just get lucky and win.
Yeah. Also, Garchomp. Like, Garchomp loves not being scalded, but it also wants all the power it can get on, like, Scale Shot. Or even, like,
Yeah.
Draco if you're, like, a mixed chomp.
Yeah, like
Especially on Mega Chomp.
Yeah, like the Fini is a
they're
very
No
weird
outrageous in
pairing.
the chat. No outrageous in the chat.
Even Spectre, like, loves playing Wisp. I mean, it's nice
And
for Spectre to not be forced into, like, Glum, but at the same time, it's like, maybe, yeah.
I see. It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, like
And Song kind of needs Toxic to, like, deal with all the stuff. It is obviously a great mon, but I don't know how much I like it here.
Ben,
Yeah.
I've just noticed you put Essential Power instead of Essential Rolls on this one.
Oh, oops, dude.
Oh,
I've done this. I've done Clodsire
No,
in
it's
one
fine,
go. I was probably tired at that point.
Oh, you're
no,
way
that's
better
fair.
than me. I did Wooper in 2 big sessions.
You're still not
Yeah,
done.
doing it one session.
I'm still not done.
Doing the PR rankings in one session made me absolutely fried, so I don't blame you.
Yeah. So let's talk about the essential roles first, not the essential power. We have a fairy type. We have a ground type. We have a steel type. We have a flying type. We have a ghost type. We have a bulky water. The one thing that's missing is a normal type, but that's completely fine because there's Tapu Fini, which will take most of the fighting type and normal hits. Because the Spectre is not going to switch into most fighting types because they have knockoff, and otherwise this team is
Incineroar can take Ghost Spam as well pretty well.
Yeah. Ghost Spam
That's
will go
pretty
into Incineroar. Like even the Tapu Fini will take the hits well. Hazard removal is pretty good on this team. It's only defog though, so
Defog Fini, baby.
it's defog Fini, it's defog Torn Eye, it's defog Rotom Frost, and even Superior, technically.
Already defog. Nice.
I actually do like the defog here just for the fact on the Tapu Fini, just because sometimes you will want to remove your own terrain. It will help some of the other mons, because it's also hindering sometimes. So it's not the worst here on it.
Yeah.
Typically bad on this team. It's like
One second, I'm just going to Aaron's.
it can make sense.
The one big thing is that people will put hazards up and then abuse with competitive or defined mons. Because this team will have a problem considering they only can remove with defog.
I guess, yeah. Although I don't know if it's many teams that actually have that.
Yeah, that's also true. The best thing about this team though is the breaking power, because Sneasel, Spectre, Garchomp Mega, and even like a Superior set. Like the
And Thorn.
Sure.
Like, I think,
Thorn.
I mean, 13 is, to be fair, that's not like a cheap word, but I've used Terra Tornai, and I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Because-
both are character breakers. But you go to I'll go Rotom Frost in seconds.
Yeah, because, like, obviously Tornai, obviously Tornki, when it's allowed to Terra, it's like one of, or if not the best Terra cap. Like, Tornai, obviously it doesn't have the reason or speed, but it still has plot and good coverage, and like flying ground is like amazing coverage together, and sometimes you just go Spectre or flying and just nuke stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Rotom Frost, while part of me would consider saying, hey, do you want Terra Ice just so you have a natural good Terra move, Ice would click. Terra Electric means no weaknesses, and also it's hitting hard. 170 special attack with basically adaptability boost for electric type moves. Great. Also, Terra Water really does help as well, as basically gives it a bit more coverage. Terra Fairy is good defensive type, so it turns into good defensive mon as well. I think both their Terras are very good here.
Yeah. Onto the supporting roles though, like that's the biggest detriment in this team, because outside of Fini, Rotom Frost, Incineroar, and maybe Tornai, there is nothing does anything to support the rest of the team. Maybe a Trick Room Zong, but what are you gonna use the Trick Room for?
Weakness
Yeah,
policy
There you
song.
go, though.
It's
Maybe
gonna use it
screens
itself.
on song.
Or meteor
Okay.
beam.
Wait, did he do that? Did he do that week 1?
Oh,
I think he did that, yeah.
So he would use it for his own mon potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost to a weakness policy trick room song before, so like it can be a threat.
Yeah.
I've used it as a lure for a mega sizzle before, but that was when we had hidden power.
Ah,
Yeah, but the best...
Didn't Zong get a sweep?
I think it
Don't get
almost
the
did.
sweep.
The other big good thing about this team is though the problem solving. Like some mons will just run a lot of different sets. Like Incineroar for one will run so many different sets. It will run support, defensive, offensive. It can run nasty plot if it wants to. Torn it can run different sets. Like even a Mega Garchomp, it will run special sets if it wants to. Tapu Fini as well, and Tapu Fini can be offensive or defensive.
For sure. For sure.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but this was Alex's team pretty much. Or does anybody else want to say anything about the team?
I feel like the only concern I would have is like, the Spectre sets become a little bit more predictable because of the Feeny at times. It's like, are you really gonna run Willow if you're gonna bring Feeny? Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to manage that really well, and all that stuff. But
Yeah, it
outside
feels...
of that, the breaking power is just so insane, regardless, that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like the Spectre is
I
gonna
think
be
it's
gonna force itself into either a setup set or a choice set, but
Or-
that's
or
what
Finny
Spectre is
forced
good
to come.
anyway.
Or Finny could be forced to come basically telepathy in some matchups, to be fair.
That's
So they
true.
could just do that instead.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. Off to the next person, which is the person who finally won the league last season. It's P. McGee.
Izzer only plays on phone, never calcs like a true draft league player.
Yeah. And he says
It's like playing on your phone. It's
and
pretty
he says
painful.
howdy.
Howdy.
Oh, absolutely. Been doing draft for 4+ years and now I've maintained 3 leagues at all times for most of all of it.
Oh wait.
And he only
shit,
plays on
I
phone
didn't-
and never calcs.
I mean, only
Honestly-
3 leagues, not much. Other thing on
That's,
phone.
bro, that's like overkill for me, bro. I was at 5 at one point. I thought I was genuinely gonna die.
Yeah.
Fair.
a lot.
Different people do like different stuff. Like I have on multiple occasions for a surprising amount of time been in 10 leagues or more.
I can't do that. I have other hobbies other than Pokemon. I'll be like,
I
oh
can't
my
do
god, I
it.
finally get to play this. And I was like, nope, I gotta fucking
Play a draft league
prep.
game.
And I gotta play a fucking draft league
Fucking
game. I gotta
hell,
prep for this
England.
game.
Let's start with the team though. First of all, the essentials: a flying type is there, a fairy type is there, a dragon and dark type is there. We have a grounded poison, we have a ghost type, we have a bulky water, we have a normal type, and we have a steel type. Like of the essential roles, maybe the steel type is the weakest part because Fortress as your soul steel can of course be good, but Fortress will crumble to some neutral special attacks.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Fortress-
neutral. Like it can struggle just with like strong
Resistance.
like fairy moonblast. Like it doesn't even ignoring mystical fire. It doesn't exactly take like Enamor's moonblast as well.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if one thing would maybe change if it was still around was maybe like a backup steel type for like the super low tier.
Yeah. Or maybe put like a Terra Steel on the slow bro or the Chansey.
Yeah. At least you have chances like a blanket check to most special attackers. It's not like the end of the world, but
Yeah.
it's still something to look out for.
Yeah. Like this team, like this is looking at this team. This is like a P. McGee team through and through. He has a lot of defensive options. He has a lot of offensive options, and some things that vary from time to time. And like, at least one of the 1 point Pokemon has some value. Looking at the hazard
What the
setting
fuck?
and removal, though,
Sorry,
Fortress is a very good hazard setter. There's also like the Golem that can technically put up hazards. Removal-wise, there's Zapdos and Fortress and Decidueye.
Wait, why did Saka get a yellow card?
Yeah, what the fuck? That made no sense. Sorry, that's why I was
Oh.
shouting, what the fuck? Like, no, it was Manu, but like,
Oh, never
what?
mind.
Sorry, Ben. Oh, yeah, okay, now I
Goddamn.
see it.
Goddamn
Football, huh?
Oh, I didn't see
Goddamn
that. Yeah.
Goddamn Europeans.
Yeah, so the England game's just started, so I'm going to be a little
Yeah.
distracted. No, the hazard removal I don't mind on this team. It is quite good.
Yeah. The
I'd
hazard
also
setting
say
is
this.
mostly Fortress, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
In
Fortress.
general, I'm kind of unsure about 4. I think I know a lot of people hate 4. I think as a loader, it's actually like decent because it has a lot of tools. But if you want it to be your main removal and main hazard setter and your main steal, then I think it's bad. It's like good on maybe like dual steal comps.
Yeah,
Or for
Honestly,
secondary steal. I agree.
one way
I don't care.
I
I'm a
think you could
Fortress
improve
believer.
this team slightly. One way I would improve this team slightly, just to have a backup to Fortress as a hazard mon, is Glimmet instead of Golem.
Yeah.
I think that would actually
Mm.
improve the team. I don't.
Yeah, I guess. Or Carbink, if that's still around as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Carbink's probably a better one, actually.
Although
Carbink's a
I
good shout.
don't know. I
But I will
assume
say-
Carbink's 1 point, but
It should be.
It is. Carbink definitely is, because I was actually looking at it for my team, because
Oh,
I
fair.
was going to go Carbink, and then I remembered Gilmet still existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 point. I just checked and confirmed it's 1.
Either like I still like the team overall just because like the top 4 or top 4 like sometimes Zapdos can be like really strong offensively,
Yeah.
and then you have like a defensive core of Milo, Chansey, Fortress, Glowbro, and sometimes Decide, or even Zapdos like a really good defensive backbone to fall back on. So like you have flexibility if you want like a more offensive team or a more defensive team each week.
Yeah. Supporting roles on the team are as well pretty good. They have a Chansey, they have a Melodic. Even the Fortress supports it a little bit. And one thing I want to mention about the support greatly is the Trapinch, which will just trap some Pokemon that can be very annoying. Like Trapinch might actually come some games.
What the fuck was
Yeah, for sure. God damn it.
Sorry.
Bro.
Yeah, Trapinch is a goat in Mon. I remember when I had it in BTL, it got me out of like a couple of difficult matchups by just trapping certain Mons.
Yeah.
Fuck Regieleki.
Sorry.
Just,
Oh god.
Seb's just did the same shot I did and just reacted like 30 seconds later. Yeah. What the fuck was that?
One thing also to note about this team is that this team will run a lot of can run a lot of different sets.
Oh, like, Trappier, that makes sense. That's right.
Let's see, the Decidueye will run a lot of different sets. The Glowbro, like even something like Zapdos can run offensive.
Zapdos, yeah.
Or defensive sets.
It's going to be an Glowbro with Nasty Pot is absolutely terrifying, especially if it runs Quick Claw.
Quick Claw.
Is Quick Claw banned or allowed?
It's allowed.
It's banned.
I think it's allowed.
I'm pretty sure it's allowed.
I think it's allowed.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Because in most cases, if someone wants to run Quick Claw and just get lucky, then lucky's a skill. But I'm pretty sure it's allowed. But we need to double check. I think it's Bright Powder and stuff like that is banned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's allowed. Let's see.
I would be pro it being allowed. So I'm pro it being allowed.
Like the only thing I kind of would change about this team is maybe switch the Terra from Chansey onto the Decidueye, because I feel like the Decidueye is a way better Terra Pokemon than Chansey is.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. Like, Chansey doesn't need the Terra. Decidueye was like, bro, Terra fighting triple arrows is like such a fun button to click.
Yeah.
And even Terra Steel to have like a budget steel, like a second steel type option, unlike Terra Decidueye, because Decidueye, I don't like it, but it has a lot of options. It's like the typing is like weird, that it's both good and bad. But if you could change the typing, then suddenly you have a very bulky one with like Roost, Nog, U-turn, good stabs.
Honestly, like
defog.
If you can make it in a position where it can just basically click triple arrows as well, because it's such a busted move, that becomes a much better mon.
Yeah.
I would make the same change as Ben did, but I would also drop Golem for either Carbink. No, I would go Carbink or Glimmet, just to give them a bit more hazards.
But generally, P. McGee's team is good. P. McGee's going to be at the top of Clodsire somewhere again. like we know him.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come the
He's gonna be a
on.
He's definitely one of the most, in general,
Fucking hell.
stealth people in this division.
Next up is the one host that is
My
not
goat!
here.
It's my goat.
The guy who is just like me, 0-2 in PBL finals.
Ah, damn it. So close.
Fuck you, Seb. By the way, there has been a change to this team as well. So they've dropped Machoke and Furret, and they've replaced Weezing with Galar Weezing with the same Terra types.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
was about to say, there's
dropped
no
Furret,
point in
that
having
freaking
like
monster?
triple 1-pointers. Like,
This
it's
monster
funny,
just
but like
dropped
they're never
Furret?
coming to a game.
He dropped
To be
Furret,
fair,
though.
I got double 1 points on my team, but that was only because the one I wanted for basically like my 10th slot was actually better than the ones in 2 points for me. So I was like, fuck it, I'll have another 1 pointer then. I agree. Usually, you don't really need that.
Let's start with the essentials on Aaron's team, though. Flying type is there, Dark type is there, Steel type is there, Fairy type is there. Technically, Weezing can be a grounded poison. Bulky
Yeah.
Water is
I mean,
there.
Neutralizing gas, baby.
neutralizing gases are very real.
Neutralizing gas.
Bring on
Yeah,
Weezing.
Yeah.
real ability.
Especially now it's basically Galarian Weezing. I think it's going to be becoming a lot more grounded. So I think that definitely is a grounded poison in my opinion.
Yeah, like you have Torn for a flying check if you like you don't need Levitate. And
Exactly.
I think Luca just soak up neutral earthquakes all day.
This team, like looking at this team, one thing you know for sure, this team is bulky as fuck. Like there's Jellicent, Weezing, Feral, Screamtail, Tinglu, even like Tornty and the Raging Bull can be very bulky. Like the only non-bulky thing that's in the main core is the Palafin.
And even that can like run bulky with like
Even
bulk
Palafin
up
has, yeah.
and like
Yeah.
bulk up Drain Punch can make it pretty tough to kill. If it's like Spadef and gets a few bulk ups.
Exactly.
197, 87
Yeah.
HP defense.
Yeah.
Which getting into the Palafin is Palafin plus Raging Bolt is probably the only reason the breaking power isn't lower, because Tornty of course can be an offensive Pokemon, but most of the time you run Tornty as kind of a supportive mon.
Yeah.
It depends on the team matchup. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Protein is good enough that it can do both very well.
I have run Torty specs a couple of times, but yeah, most of the time I agree it's more supportive.
Yeah, but it really depends on the matchup, of course. But like the offense is run mostly through Palafin and Raging Bolt here.
Yeah, it's just a bit lacking. Although with the bulk line, how it is, and also like you have two of the best hazard spammers, like to help chip down things in Ferrothorn and Scream and Tinglu, and you also have Wish Screamtail to keep them healthy. Could be like a really annoying thing to face.
There's another move as well on Tinglu that's really going to help this
Whirlwind
team as well.
Ruination.
Ruination, yeah, true.
Ruination as well will help as well.
Yeah.
But Whirlwind too as well.
Like talking about the Tinglu and Screamtail, you can already see why the supporting roles are at 10, because this team, it just helps the two offensive threats so fucking much in getting where they need to be.
Yeah.
You've also got Elamuze for Prankster as well, which I know Aaron knows how to use inside out, so that's going to be helpful in some matchup.
Whirlwind as well to phase out anyone with the setup that you could take a hit from.
Exactly. He's got Whirlwind, Ruination support. He's got fucking passive damage with like Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmet, Ferrothorn.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah. The only thing that it feels like. I mean, I know Jellicent's also like a good mon, and with Terra, it can like Terra plus like Water Absorb can be like really good to like just wall out some offensive water types. But is it just me that feels like this wanted to be a rain team, but pivoted out? Like Palafin, Tornty, Raging Bolt, Ferrothorn, all would love rain.
Yeah.
I can confirm he did not want it to be a rain team.
He did not want it to be a rain team. He just wanted the Pokemon.
It still happens to look like it just happens to look like
it does look like a rain team.
Like low key, if you don't, I guess if you drop Jellicent, then you would be weak to opposing waters in rain. Yeah. So it's fine to like keep it as it is.
And Jellison is definitely a mon he knows how to use. Oh my fucking god! What the fuck are you doing?
Okay. Anyway, the problem solving on this team is also very good because Torn will run different sets. Palafin in general is just can run special, physical, even like the sub bulk up sets.
We're just trying to get our team set up this game.
Screamtail can even run setup if it wanted to. Like, there's a lot of variety on this team as well.
Yeah. It's simply like
and strength on
for Gen 9 being like a pretty offensive gen, this is like one of the best, like actually well done, like obviously not stall, but like bulky teams I've seen.
Yeah. Of course,
like,
Aaron could stall.
Like Zeb just called Aaron a stall player. Zeb just called Aaron a stall player.
Aaron could stall with this team, but knowing Aaron, he will probably farm kills on Palafin again.
Yeah.
Oh,
the only thing that might bring it down is that none of the bulky mons can pivot aside from Screamtail, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not passive. Like they have good options, like to like not be passive, but having like a slow pivot would be nice for, especially for like Palafin and Torn. Like they can pivot themselves, but a slow pivot to get them in would be nice.
Just
like the slowest pivot is technically, I think, Illumise.
Oh, yeah, it does get U-turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pushing it. Because as much as Aaron does love Illumise, he's not bringing it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Aaron says pain makes
you gonna
you
listen
gay.
to this. He's gonna hear this and be like, "Fuck you, Roy," and he's gonna bring it every week.
He wants to.
I don't think. Yeah.
Emilio,
do that, Aaron.
Emilio, I'm willing to bet he. Let me just check something a minute.
This is a good team right here.
Yeah.
Not just because it looks like mine.
I'm willing to bet he doesn't bring it week 1.
You have Pult and like what? Oh yeah, Iron Mouth.
This team is disgustingly good.
Yeah, like
very good.
One of the most common pairings with Pult is like a strong fighting type to break darks, and it doesn't. You can't find a strong fighting type than Medicham.
Yeah. For pure power, there's nothing stronger.
Let's go.
And obviously, with like Trailblaze and CC, with Trailblaze and CC, it also has like it's a lot more reliable in Gen 9 compared to when it had to rely on high jump kick.
Yeah. Looking at a few of the essential roles, though, there's a ghost type, there's a fairy type, steel type, flying type is there, ground type, bulky water is there. The worst part about the essentials is that Persian is the dark type.
Yeah, that's a bit
iffy. That's
I don't mind it because he has a Dunsparce.
Yeah.
I think he has a Sylveon for dark type. You don't need Persian to like, outside from like checking like physical like dark ghosts with Furcoat. Like you have good tools to deal with other ghosts and darker psychics.
Yeah.
Only thing I'll say is it weird that I'd actually prefer if the Dunsparce was Terra and not Corviknight? I get you.
For sure. I 100%.
Oh yeah.
I love Terra Dunsparce. Yeah, like Corv. I mean, it generally don't want to tear at all. It can, and like it's not a bad option to have, but like Steel Flying is like one of the main reasons it's good. I'd 100% go Terra Dunsparce if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Well, it might be too expensive with tax.
The best thing, by far the best thing about this team is though the breaking power. Like, look at it. Like, you have Pult and Mega Medi, which is already fucking disgusting as a pair.
Our Moth is a good
with very ground coverage. Very ground coverage. It could be defensive and still break teams with very ground coverage.
Or just Specs Hyper Voice Terra Fairy is also just like a kill button.
Yeah. Oh, I love me my Specs Sylveon. Specs Sylveon is one of my favorite sets when I can pull it off in a matchup. I draft Sylveon regularly, and when I get a matchup where I can run Specs Sylveon, I love it because it's so fun.
I can definitely see why this ranked highly. Like it just has a lot of good, like it has a lot of good slow pivots to get in Pult and Medicham. It has bulk to fall back and like Corv Seal, those two, and though that trio covers a lot of months, and Dunsparce is just like a Swiss Army knife of like it can glare, it can like call my boom burst, even Specs on occasion. It can just like topple Dragon Tail to check stuff. Like it can do a lot of different stuff. Rocks, even Baton Pass to pivot.
There's even like choice bent Dunsparce sets if you want to.
Oh yeah, Hyper Drill is also a really good move. It's just like normally Boom Burst is better because like a lot of normal resists are physically defensive.
Yeah. But because also Boomburst Shadow Ball is nearly always perfect coverage as well. So you can just run like Roost Glare, Boomburst Shadow Ball,
Yeah.
which was basically my default set on, but I didn't unspec a lot when I drafted it.
Yeah. The supporting roles are great. You have Sylveon, you have Corviknight, you have Rotom-Mow. Like, there's nothing to scoff at. The one thing to maybe scoff at is that not a lot of Pokemon will run different sets. Like, there's the Dunsparce and Dragapult, but Medicham will be an offensive threat. Iron Moth will mostly only be offensive. Corviknight can technically run Iron Defense or Bulk Up if it wants to. Sylveon has specs options.
I can
I
bulk
wish I
up
had one more
Sylveon
monster.
as well.
I would say that even
Yeah,
though
Sylveon-
Moth is like, it is just like an offensive mon, it has a lot of different variants between the offensive sets. Like, having to beat like a Meteor Beam set compared to like specs can be wildly different, or like booster speed or agility. Like, even though it's like it's just it's just an
someone
offensive
check
mon,
for
but it
me?
has a lot of
I'm
variety
distracted.
still.
Oh come. Okay, can someone check with me? Because Sylveon get Troll Blaze, by the way. I think
It does.
Ah.
Most evolutions do.
Okay, so I feel like Sylveon has a few more options on this team as well, with the fact it has like the Terra Ground and Terra Fire. So even run like a Trailblaze set occasionally in some matchups.
I feel
Yeah,
it's still too
very
slow, but
situational.
it's not a terrible option to have.
Yeah.
It's 60 base speed. That's quite slow.
Yeah. There's a reason,
Yeah, like-
though, why BGC's teams are almost always high, just because he drafts very solidly, and this team is, again, a good
Fair.
example
Like,
of how he drafts.
Yeah. The only thing that wait, to go back quickly.
Come on. No, he's gonna skip it. No. Okay.
Yeah.
The
last
really
time, usually
only
when he does that,
negative
he
I
skips to the
have
next one.
might be like the hatches are decent, but like it would have been nice to have like a spiking option.
Yeah, that's a big point. Like, not having a good spiker is can maybe
Like Pult
be suck.
loves Pult and Medi loves like to pair with bikes.
Yeah. But this team is still great, even without the
Oh, yeah.
space.
Oh yeah. Now we can move on.
Ray's team is basically my team, but an improved version, in my opinion. This is my team, but better.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
my
Oh,
other
this is a
draft
good
goat. Oh, this
team.
is my draft
Holy.
goat.
Speaking of like
This is
top
a
3
hell of a
being
team.
offensive threats of the previous team, look at these top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gallade, Mega, and Blood Moon is a hell of a combo. That's why I
Yeah.
drafted it. But Greninja as well on top to just clean up. That is
Yeah.
a fantastic combo. What I also really like about this team
I keep
as
getting
well is it's
disconnected.
set up in a way where Reggie Drago could actually just annihilate teams as well, because it feels like a lot of this team is set up in a way where it will remove steals, it will remove fairies. Reggie Drago can sweep, Greninja can sweep, Blastoise
Yeah, and
can sweep.
And although it's definitely not ideal having to like rely on Diancie like your only like specially Pokemon, but still Scarm Pet like
It's a Blastoise.
Sorry.
I guess. But I'm more like Scarm Petch, even though obviously they're different ones, they still do like similar stuff. Just being like a blanket physical wall.
One thing to not underrate, though, is the special defense of Mega Gallade. It can actually take some special hits if it wants to.
True.
Ooh, yeah, it
And
is.
Aerodance
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
good one, so it's like
Petrarun is a physical wall as well. It can take any hits for days on that side.
Yeah, like going through
115 special defense.
Going through typings as well, he has a fairy type. He has a steel type, flying type, ground type is there, bulky water is there, grounded poison, ghost, and normal type are also there. Like, typing wise, he also has everything he pretty much needs.
Yeah, he's a good spinner and a good defucker as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And like already mentioned, the best thing about the team is just the breaking part, because this team will eat up everything. Like Galai plus
Those
Ursula
top two are
Moon.
impossible. Those two up two are impossible.
Yeah, and then you add a Greninja and a Terra Regi Drago to that. Even like a Shell Smash Blastoise could come in there. Like, this team is, I think, offensively the scariest team in Clodsire.
yeah, it's definitely up there for sure. Like,
there's especially with this offense, like there's a reason why I basically think it's the better version of my team, because it has what my team has, but even more power on top. Like, especially the Strago as well. Reggie Drago is gonna. They're like that because we've seen the Rain team, for example. Not to keep using them as an example. they have no fairy types. They're gonna have to they're forced to bring a signature Terra just to counter that, or that thing goes into their entire team.
Yep.
And then the Regidrago still has the option of Terra Steel.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Like Regidrago forces prep as well.
Yeah. Like this team's worst spot is support, which also isn't bad because you still have Skarmory, Diancie, and Petron for support. And then there's even like niche Blossom sets. You have Blastoise technically, which can be a rapid spin support with Scald. So it's not as bad as it looks.
Yeah. You got good pivots as well.
Yeah, and like
Like one
Diancie
thing
can
I just
pass with
quickly
Wilsus.
noticed. I mean, it's basically only one or. Oh, wait, is bundle? Did anyone pick a bundle?
The rain person.
The
spot.
rain team. The rain team.
Funnel had
Yeah,
two
the rain
hits.
team.
I was like, the only thing that I quickly noticed is this team can be weak to like Specs freeze dry.
Yeah.
That is still just like 2 months. It's Cureman Bundle. That's the only freeze dry months that are like worth
Yeah,
taking.
those are like.
And if you really want to, you can go like
Vanillux.
Spadef Diancie to like take it pretty well.
Even like
To be
Terra,
fair, Vanillux and
there's
Grace-
even like Terra Steel, AV, Regidrago if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that could be an option. I will say this: Vanillux and Glaceon have been drafted as well.
I mean, yeah, but
They're not the big threats.
Roy, come on.
One of
Roy,
them's in
come on.
Lust's hand. Let's be fair. Listen,
And it doesn't have Terra.
I'm practicing my copium. Seb hasn't even seen the England score yet.
Oh, I know. I just didn't react.
The problem-solving ability
yeah.
also on this
I know
team
you're
is great because Regidrago can run special or physical. Blastoise can solve problems if they need to. But the best thing about this team, considering problem-solving, is this Greninja because there's Protein, there's Battle Bond, and you can run physical or special sets. Whatever the fuck you need from Greninja, it will do for you. The only thing it doesn't do is be bulky, but he has enough bulk otherwise to deal with that.
Blastoise as well can be very flexible. Diancie can be very flexible.
Diancie's very flexible.
What do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, yeah.
What do you mean? Whoa.
Well,
Y'all are some weirdos, bro. I was.
Have you not seen it transform?
With the tone you said that, you know what you were saying.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't notice anything until you guys said something. Y'all are some
That's the
weird. Y'all
August
some
fact.
freaks. Y'all are some
It's the August.
freaks.
He's gaslighting. He's
Oh,
gaslighting. He's
okay.
gaslighting.
Let's go to the
No.
last team on the
Those
list, though,
freaks.
before we gaslight Emilio even more.
First place
It's
goes
always fun gaslighting
to.
Emilio. Who the fuck is this fucker?
Yeah, fuck this guy.
What a mid team.
What a mid
Yeah, what a
team.
very mid team. Mid is some mids.
As
Seb, do you want to run through your team?
Zeb says, trolling paid
well,
is part of the job description as a mod. Even if it's not
Unwritten
written
rule.
down in the application, it's an unwritten rule.
Oh yeah. Oh, this was before I.
This was even before you were a mod.
I just. Is that the entire reason I
He
became a
read
mod?
the
'Cause I'm so
future.
good at
He read
throwing
the
things.
future. I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
but
Kate
either way, I'm
understands
gonna
the
let you
concept of
guys
what-
talk with the team. I can like respond.
Let's first of all go through the essential roles. There's a fairy type, there's a steel type. We have a flying type, we have a dark type, we have a bulky water, we have 2 good ground types. We have a normal type. The only thing we don't have is a ghost type, but the ghost type isn't very needed because there's a Clefable and Mega Scissor.
Yeah. And Bandabuzz handles most ghost types as well.
Yeah.
For real.
This team has some good hazards as well. They have Rhyperior, they have
Chomp,
Roselia, Chomp, Clefable.
Cruel.
Then
Tentacruel,
removal-wise,
like-
there's Mega Scissor, there's Mandibus, there's Swell, there's
Tentacruel.
Tentacruel. Yeah.
I wouldn't count Swallow, but yes, it is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, Swallow I don't count, but the other 3
Swallow's
are fantastic ones. So it's more than good, yeah.
Yes.
Swallow,
as well as fake.
Swallow on this team is never coming to remove hazards. I'd hope. So
Zeb,
it's
prove him
coming-
wrong. Zeb, prove him wrong. Do it.
I mean,
do it next week. Next week. Next
It's
week.
at
Do
the
it.
point
It's
where
fine.
like Swallow doesn't need anything besides like Boomburst Heatwave
Boomburst.
U-turn on the spec set. I mean, obviously I run Hurricane usually, but technically it could run Defog because it doesn't need anything else a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not gonna run Defog.
Yeah.
Swallow.
Let's go. Let's go over the breaking power. You have a Blaziken, you have a Garchomp, you have a Mega Scissor, which are 3 of the best physical breakers already. Then you add a Terra Swallow to it. You
Swallow.
have Terra Rhyperior. And you even have like a setup Clefable or Life Orb Magikarp Clefable if you wanted to.
I do wish he had one more like special breaker or like one
Yeah,
special.
that's like basically the only negative for my team that I felt myself is that I'm more leaning physically.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you
to be
definitely
fair,
are.
to be fair,
Clefable with some
Blaziken,
setup can do some work.
The
but-
best mega in the game.
there's also Blaziken, which has a
Static Mega.
very good
Yeah.
special attack stat, which that can still do a lot of damage, especially.
I was gonna accidentally spoil one of the PRs for the other videos, but I bit my tongue.
Yeah. I also find it like it started completely accidentally, but after a while I just stuck with it. It's really funny. This is like in a broken Auras draft, or I guess Usum if you want to count Swallow with Boombers in Usum.
Yeah.
Like I basically only have like Gen 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Just or again 1 to 6. 1 to 6.
Like, let's look at the next role, which is supporting roles. Is that there's Clef, one of the best support
Clefable.
modes in the game. There is
It was
Tentacruel plus
knockoff,
Mandibuzz.
play, Tentacruel.
Like,
You got a lot of knockoff users too.
yeah, like this team hates items.
True.
Big
Wait.
yeah. Y'all better hold your boots, bro.
Chomp, Blaziken, Clefable, Mandy, Tentacruel. Yeah, that's more than that. Was also just completely accidental.
Yeah. Considering also he has one of the best clerks in the game in Clefable. He has Wish Passer, like hazard removal is great, hazard setting is great. Like the supporting roles are filled perfectly, and they are also the support mons he did choose. They are very good mons that can help his offense thrive, and then we come to like the offense. Like there's very versatile Pokemon like Swallow, which can be a gut set. It can be the Boomburst set. Then we have Blaziken, which can be physical or special. There is Garchomp, which can also be both. Yeah, like even mixed Blaziken is a thing. You have Scissor,
Like,
which can
I think
straight
I
up...
ran when I replaced last season. I think I ran Workup 1 week.
Yeah.
I think it worked.
Yeah, that you did it once with Workup, yeah, and that worked. Like you even have Clefable, who can run offense, defense, or just be an annoying as Shipmon. And there's even like the occasional. It won't happen often, but there is a Swords Dance Tentacruel set in the back.
Yeah.
Often, it's not gonna happen at all.
Hey, I ran that shit once.
You never know.
I'm going to run that week.
Next week,
5 against
do it.
Order and BTL. I'm going to run Tentacle Sword Dance against Order and BTL. Watch. Don't quite run that.
And
But
the biggest thing about this team is, of course, that Rhyperior is on this team with Terra.
True.
Yes, it's Rhyperior. It's Rhyperior's
The
boyfriend.
redemption arc.
The redemption arc.
For those that you don't know, who don't understand, I replaced last season. I had Terra Rhyperior on the old team, but I dropped it when I changed it. But I still had a game with the old team, so I used Terra Rhyperior, and it did really well. I think it was like 3 kills.
Yeah, it got 3 kills and take like some hits it shouldn't have taken.
Yeah.
Rhyperior's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Solid Rock the goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the number 1 team for that the Clodcast has decided on in Clodsire. And
I just want to say I had nothing to do with me being number 1.
Yeah.
Before people guess.
For
100%
context,
did.
me and Ben did the
100%
PR, so this was the team I rated the highest.
Yeah, and I agreed with Roy.
Yeah.
So, I do have one last thing I want to say before we end this PR. You guys can now still say something before I finish it up because the last slide is very important.
I just want to say fuck Gareth Southgate.
I want to say thank you, said Gareth. So.
Jacordo, Emilio, anything you guys want to say?
I don't mind England. I don't mind England. I just find it really funny.
I
because
hate
of how
Europeans.
cocky some England fans could be, or maybe not this yours, but like some England fans are just really obnoxious.
I respect that, to be honest. As someone who knows those England fans, I think, shut
Oh
up.
yeah,
Dakota,
It was mainly Euros, last Euros, in like 2020, which was like
can
the
we
coming
stop
we
the
got
home
football
meme.
talk here
We got
for a
Yeah.
second?
how
Yeah.
was
here, bro.
Okay,
Jesus
we can
Christ.
move on to the.
I'll explain that meme in a bit. I meant previous years for that. 2020 Euros,
Oh, yeah,
very few people have memed,
Okay,
but
Dakota wanted to say something as well at the end.
Oh no! All I said was I love the Mega Scizor pick. No bias.
Oh yeah.
It's
No
just
bias, of course.
Oh yeah.
And
sensational sweeper.
I'm gonna
Sensational.
end the Clodsire PRs on a very good note. Fuck Ordinary.